in a CSP environment, there are more definite terms, okay, actually, that define what kind of clouds are there in the CSP. And I brought you some examples of what kind of clouds that can be founded in a CSP. And this slide is very important because we will have this logic and move to the entry points of the hyperscalers to know exactly what hyperscaler is targeting out of these clouds. So let's start with the first, I'd say, well-known type of the clouds in the CSP environment, which is actually the IT cloud. That's the term always used in the CSP environments. So the IT cloud, and that's one of the oldest clouds that can exist in a CSP environment. This is the cloud that hosts the internal IT applications. Okay, so whenever you have an IT system, okay, you commonly get this system onboarded and deployed in an IT cloud. And for sure, it's a flavor of a private cloud, and VMware actually was one of, and still one of the market leaders in this one. So the majority of the private clouds in the CSPs are based on VMware, and most of the IT applications actually, even from the old days, they are very coupled with VMware. I just had a question about CSP. CSP is a communication service provider. Communication service provider, which is actually the mobile operators, for example. Second type that you always see it in the operators or the CSP, you find something called enterprise cloud. And enterprise cloud, that's the attempt from the operators to have a flavor of a public cloud that can be provided to their enterprise customer offering B2B service. And it varies. They can offer infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, even software as a service. And it goes well actually in the operators or the countries where the hyperscaler doesn't have access, or for some reason there are some regulations prevents the enterprises to host their application on the hyperscalers, I would say external DCs. So in that model, it perfectly makes sense for the operator to have an enterprise cloud or a public cloud. And then starting from 2011 with the evolution of the NFV and HC NFV, and I would say from 2013-14, the term telco cloud started to be, I would say, more bold. And the term telco cloud, when someone say telco cloud, that's actually the cloud that is providing infrastructure as a service to hosting telco VNFs. Okay, so telco cloud initially is a flavor of a private cloud, but the deployment itself is actually somehow a little bit stick to HCNFV stack. They have different functional components, differ from the IT cloud. They have the Mono, the NFVO, the VNFM. And one of the characteristics of this telco cloud that it is actually integrated to the OSS for the assurance. So assurance is a very, I would say, the main ingredient of the telco cloud. So that's the telco cloud. And you can always see in the operators a lot of other private clouds, because there are a lot of silos that were built by vendors. So for example, you can find vendor X providing a certain application, and to provide certain application virtualized, they provided the full stack. So you end up with multiple silos inside the operator. You find that there's cloud X, Y, and Z. There are all flavors of a private cloud, but they exist. Okay, it's not one unified private cloud, but you can find multiple private clouds. So these are the cloud stacks that most probably will be there in a typical CSP: the IT cloud, the enterprise cloud or public cloud, and telco cloud, and other private cloud stacks.